Welcome back, everybody. This is another exciting episode of Who We Are, and my name is Marcus Murakami, and today I'm here with a very special guest, Mr. Dennis Hinze. Mr. Dennis Hinze is an LLC student as well as the head of our sustainability club here on campus. So tell me a little bit about the sustainability club and why you got it started.
Well, I got the sustainability club started because a friend of mine thought it would be a good idea, and I thought it would be a good idea too. So now we have the Sustainability Club, and I was elected president over my strong objections. So I'm president of the Sustainability Club, and Marcus is treasurer.
I hear you're taking some classes in welding. So
Yes.
How's that going, and what are you doing out there?
Pretty good. Well, I have a little project going, which is a vertical axis windmill that'll spin around any direction the wind is blowing. It's not very big. It's only made out of two 55-gallon drums and some old pieces of metal I picked up here and there. And it might generate electricity, but I know for sure that it will pump water. I've seen machines like this before that generate electricity, just not a lot of electricity. It's about enough to charge a battery with. That's all I need, a battery, charged up battery, so I can run my TV.
If everybody does their part, then things will start to change. Is that your outlook on things?
Well, this is a fact, and of course, we need to think more local in the way we do things, the way we produce our food and medicines, and the way we produce our energy. There's plenty of energy in the wind around here, as you've just seen the last few days. Can hardly walk outside without getting blown off your feet. Well, you don't need a wind machine that's higher than the Statue of Liberty to take advantage of this kind of wind. It's here at the ground level, and it can be used on a local basis if we only have the machines to do it.
Why are you taking on such an ambitious regiment, if you would, at your age? Why coming back to school? Why worrying about the environment?
Let's say that I'm altruistic. I can see a lot of things that need to be improved in the way that we do things as a society and the way that we go about our daily affairs. Like one good example is recycling of aluminum and plastics. These are high-dollar items at the recycler, and aluminum, although it's a very plentiful element, it's very difficult to mine, to get it out of the soil.
Where'd you grow up? Were you from this area?
Well, actually, Marcus, I didn't grow up yet.
Forever young, right?
I'm only 72, and I have a lot of years left in me. I'm sure that I was born in San Francisco, California, and raised around the Bay Area there. A city boy, but my uncle had a ranch down by Boulder Creek in the mountains, and it was a good place to go when I was a little kid. So for a city boy, when I was growing up, I spent a lot of time in the woods down there. And later on, when I got into the Air Force, my experience in the woods paid off, and I wound up being selected to go to survival instructors school, where I learned to be a survival instructor and taught survival down here at Stead Air Force Base for a few years while I was in the Air Force.
Then what happened after you got out of the Air Force? Was that a big transition for you? I know for my dad, he was a nurse in the Air Force, and when he got out, it was a big change, going from that structured military to the civilian life. Was that a big culture shock for you?
Well, Not really. Before I ever got out, I went into town and rented an apartment. But that's a whole nother story. I got interested in playing music when I was in the Air Force there, and I won the talent show and went on tour and singing folk songs with this guy from New York. And so we had a great time. And when we got out, after I got out of the service, I also pursued my singing career there in Reno, around Reno, and singing folk songs for a while.
Well, it's on the table, not forget a pen. I just say nothing about it. Get in trouble with the man. So let the midnight special shine its light on you. Let the midnight special.
Knocked around for a year or so doing a bunch of different jobs like selling magazines and driving a truck and whatnot, washing dishes and so forth. And then I got interested in the gaming industry and learned how to deal craps, and then I learned how to deal blackjack, and I learned how to deal roulette. And I worked all over the state, worked in Reno, Vegas, worked at Lake Tahoe, North Shore, South Shore.
Sounds like you might have some stories. Can you remember any particular clients or customers, which I don't know what you would call them, that influenced you?
No, really. Gaming was just a way to make money and have fun at the same time. You don't have to make anybody any promises, and half of the people or more who come in there think you're going to cheat them and beat them anyway. I live in a travel trailer with a dog and a cat, and I'm moving around wherever I want to be. I have a little ranch down in Doyle, like right now. Right now I'm staying in Susanville so I can go to college. And I've been to college before, went to college in Reno, graduated from college in Reno in speech.
Why come back to school after all these years?
It's very interesting. I have noticed before when I had a chance to engage with young people, it kept me young, I thought. So I may be deluding myself, so what? I'm old enough to do that. So I like to engage young people and see what their outlook is. Now we have these people from out of the country, and they have a lot the same attitudes that the young people here have. So I think this is good. Like, we realize that we have problems in common that we need to overcome. Problems with government out of control, problems with big business out of control, problems with pollution.
What would you say to somebody who would be like that? That's, oh, why deal with it? It's too big of a problem. It's nothing that I can change.
Well, I would say that, like, if you talk yourself into thinking that you can't do anything, you won't be able to do anything. If you take the bull by the horns and realize that you have the power is with the people, not with words written down on a piece of paper somewhere. The power is with the people. We have the power.
Now, coming back to coming to school at a later age, is it harder for you to get into school? Is it easier? I know you've got a couple of funny stories about paying like a $6 fee, and you get home and there's a stinking check in the mail for you.
Tell you, like, I have my hearing is corrected, but it doesn't work well enough to really pick up on the classroom experience. It's very difficult for me to understand what people are saying a lot of times, and so I wouldn't advise anybody not to continue their education because of any handicaps they have, but also, like, you need to be realistic. There are scientific endeavors to figure out where it all came from, like how did life originate, and like where is it now and where is it going. That's great, you know, like these people can make their conjectures, and be scientific about it. What I'm interested in now is in the world now, where we are now, what is happening now with the planet, with the people on the planet, developing countries where everybody wants to have a car and everybody wants to learn to golf so they can have more golf courses and more cars and people driving around in circles, not accomplishing anything. I'd like to have everybody think about, and not only just think about it, but join the sustainability club here, which is designed to produce a mindset in people to use recycling, to reuse things that you can reuse, to think about your garbage before you throw something away. Is it something that really is useless?
I'd like to thank you very much for coming to the Who We Are segment. My name is Marcus Murakami, and today we had Dennis with us. And remember, go out and do your part. Do what you can to make life a little bit better for everybody. Who's next?
Your word is mine, gonna tell you right. Just show your face, broad daylight. I'm telling you on how I feel. Gonna tell